Imagine feeling so excited that your heart races, your smile won't stop, and you just want to share your happiness with everyone. But the words in English feel too small to express it. Or picture a moment when you're nervous, curious, and thrilled all at once, and the usual words like happy or sad just don't capture it. Talking about feelings doesn't have to be difficult or boring. It can be fun, colorful, and full of life. English is full of creative ways to describe emotions. Instead of simply saying, I'm happy, you can say, I'm on cloud nine, or I'm over the moon. Feeling nervous? Try, I have butterflies in my stomach. Instead of the plain, I'm nervous. These small changes make your speech more natural, vivid, and memorable. In this video, we will explore fun and practical ways to talk about feelings in English. You'll discover lively vocabulary, playful idioms, and phrases that express both simple and complex emotions. You'll even learn how to describe mixed feelings, like being both sad and excited at the same time. We'll also include easy exercises and examples so you can practice using these expressions in daily conversations. By the end, you'll be able to share your feelings clearly, confidently, and creatively, making your English sound alive and expressive. Get ready to step into the world of feelings, and let's make your English fun, natural, and unforgettable. 1. Why talking about feelings is important. Emotions play a huge role in our everyday lives. Every decision we make, big or small, is influenced by how we feel. From choosing what to eat for breakfast to deciding on a career path, our emotions guide us in ways we often don't even notice. Because feelings are such a big part of life, being able to express them in English is extremely valuable. When you can clearly describe what you feel, you can communicate more effectively with others, whether in casual conversations with friends, at school, or in professional settings. Expressing feelings also helps you connect with people on a deeper level. Imagine telling someone, I'm frustrated because my plan didn't work out, instead of just saying, I'm upset. The first sentence shows exactly what you feel and why, which allows the listener to understand and empathize with you. Sharing emotions this way creates stronger relationships and encourages others to open up about their feelings too. It turns simple conversations into meaningful exchanges, building trust and connection. English is full of fun, expressive, and creative ways to describe emotions far beyond the usual words like happy or sad. For example, instead of happy, you could say thrilled, on cloud nine, or over the moon. Instead of sad, try heartbroken, down in the dumps, or blue. Using these alternatives not only makes your English more interesting, but also allows you to express subtle differences in your feelings. Sometimes you might be a little nervous or excited and anxious at the same time. Being able to describe these shades of emotion makes your speech richer and more natural. Finally, knowing how to talk about feelings makes your conversations more vivid, memorable, and human. People remember the way you make them feel through your words, and using expressive emotional language helps you leave a stronger impression. It's not just about learning vocabulary, it's about communicating your inner world, connecting with others, and bringing your English to life in a fun and meaningful way. 2. Common feelings and exciting alternatives. When learning English, many people rely on basic words like happy, sad, angry, or scared to describe their emotions. While these words are correct, they often sound too simple or ordinary. The good news is that English offers a wide variety of fun, colorful, and expressive alternatives that make your conversations more interesting and lively. By using these words, you can communicate your feelings more precisely and make people truly understand what you're experiencing. Let's start with happiness. Instead of just saying, I'm happy, try expressions like over the moon, on cloud nine, thrilled, or delighted. Each of these words adds a slightly different shade of meaning. For example, if you say, I'm thrilled, it shows excitement and energy, while I'm over the moon communicates a joyful, almost dreamy happiness. Using these words makes your English sound natural and enthusiastic instead of plain or flat. When it comes to sadness, there are many expressive alternatives as well. Instead of just sad, you could say down in the dumps, blue, heartbroken, or miserable. Saying, I feel down in the dumps gives a casual, relatable tone, while heartbroken conveys deeper emotional pain. By choosing the right word, you can clearly communicate how intense or mild your sadness is. Anger and frustration are emotions we often need to express too. Words like frustrated, mad, fuming, or annoyed can help you do that. Fuming shows strong anger, while annoyed is milder and more everyday. Similarly, feelings of surprise can be expressed with astonished, flabbergasted, shocked, or taken aback. These words are more descriptive than simply saying surprised and help convey your reaction vividly. For fear or nervousness, English offers words like jittery, anxious, terrified, or uneasy. Jittery describes a light nervous feeling, while terrified indicates intense fear. By selecting the right word, you can communicate exactly how strong your feeling is instead of leaving your listener guessing. Tip: feelings often come in shades, and mixing words is a great way to express complex emotions. For example, I'm a little anxious, but also excited shows that you are experiencing two emotions at once. Similarly, I'm thrilled but nervous about my first day at work combines excitement and anxiety naturally. Using combinations and alternatives not only makes your English richer and more expressive, but also helps people understand exactly what you are feeling in real life situations. 3. Idioms and metaphors to sound like a native. One of the most exciting ways to express feelings in English is by using idioms and metaphors. These are phrases that often don't make literal sense but carry a strong emotional meaning. Native speakers use them all the time, and learning them can make your English sound much more natural, colorful, and engaging. Instead of relying on simple words like happy or nervous, idioms allow you to paint a picture of your feelings. For example, if you want to say you are extremely happy, you can use the idiom I'm on cloud nine. It gives a sense of floating above the world with joy. Another common one is I'm over the moon, which expresses a similar excitement but with a slightly more playful tone. These idioms make your speech more lively and help listeners feel your emotions vividly. When you are nervous or anxious, a fun and relatable expression is, I have butterflies in my stomach. This idiom captures that fluttery, uneasy feeling before a big event, like giving a presentation or going on a first date. Instead of simply saying, I'm nervous, this phrase adds personality and depth to your speech. There are also idioms for less positive feelings. For instance, I'm feeling under the weather is a common way to say you feel sick or a bit low in energy. It's much more natural and casual than just saying, I feel sick. If you find yourself in trouble, you might hear someone say, I'm in hot water. This idiom communicates difficulty or a problematic situation in a vivid, memorable way. Fun idea. Try using one new idiom each day in your conversations or writing. For example, after completing a difficult task, you could say, I'm on cloud nine. Over time, these expressions will become a natural part of your English, making your conversations sound playful, expressive, and confident. Using idioms and metaphors doesn't just improve your vocabulary, it helps you connect with people naturally, show personality, and express emotions in ways that plain words can't. Start with a few simple ones, practice them, and watch your English come alive. 4. How to talk about mixed emotions. Life is rarely as simple as feeling just happy or sad. Often, we experience more than one emotion at the same time, and English provides many ways to express these complex feelings clearly and naturally. Talking about mixed emotions not only makes your English more expressive, but it also shows maturity and nuance in how you communicate. For example, leaving a school or a city that you love can bring a combination of feelings. You might say, I'm bittersweet about leaving my school. The word bittersweet perfectly captures the mix of happiness for the experiences you had and sadness for saying goodbye. Similarly, starting a new job or a new chapter in life often comes with both excitement and nervousness. You could say, I'm excited but nervous about starting my new job. This lets the listener understand that your feelings are complex. You're eager for the opportunity, but also aware of the challenges ahead. Childhood memories often bring mixed emotions as well. You might feel joy remembering fun times, but also a touch of sadness, knowing that those days are gone. Saying, I feel both joy and sadness when I remember my childhood, clearly communicates this dual experience and makes your English sound reflective and thoughtful. Another way to express mixed emotions is by combining idioms or descriptive phrases. For instance, you might say, I'm thrilled, but also a little on edge about the performance tonight. Or, I'm happy to see her succeed, but I can't help feeling a little jealous. By using combinations like these, you capture the subtle shades of emotion that plain words cannot convey. Tip: talking about mixed feelings demonstrates that your English is more sophisticated and natural. People will understand not only what you feel, but also how deeply you feel it. Practicing these expressions in writing or speaking will help you communicate your emotions accurately, vividly, and confidently in real life conversations. 5. Fun activities to practice talking about feelings. Practicing how to talk about feelings in English doesn't have to be boring. In fact, there are many fun and interactive activities that can help you express emotions naturally, build vocabulary, and improve your confidence. One of the simplest yet most effective methods is keeping an emotion diary. Every day, write down how you feel in English. Try to use new words or idioms you've learned. For example, instead of writing, I'm happy, you could write, I'm thrilled because I passed my exam. Over time, this practice will help you notice subtle differences in your emotions and make it easier to express them clearly in conversations. Another exciting activity is role play conversations. Imagine yourself in different situations, winning a prize, failing a test, meeting a celebrity, or starting a new job. Act out how you would react and describe your feelings using expressive words. For example, you could say, I was over the moon when I won the prize, or I felt heartbroken when I didn't pass the test. Role playing makes learning active and fun, and it helps you practice using emotions in real life contexts. The Guess the Feeling game is another playful way to learn. Write different emotions on cards, then act them out or describe them in English while your friends guess the feeling. For example, you might act nervous and say, I feel jittery because I have a big presentation. This game improves both speaking and listening skills while reinforcing emotional vocabulary. Finally, try storytelling. Share a short story or a personal experience and describe how you and others felt. For example, at first I was nervous about performing, but then I felt relieved when the audience applauded. Storytelling helps you combine vocabulary, idioms, and expressions naturally, making your English more vivid and memorable. By practicing these activities regularly, you'll gain confidence in expressing emotions, expand your vocabulary, and make your English conversations more lively, playful, and natural. 6. Tips to sound natural in English. Expressing your feelings in English is not just about learning words, it's also about how you say them. One of the most important tips is to use intonation and gestures. Your voice, tone, and body language play a huge role in communicating emotions. For example, saying, I'm so happy in a flat, monotone voice doesn't convey much excitement. But if you raise your voice slightly, smile, and use hand gestures, the listener can immediately feel your happiness. Similarly, when expressing nervousness, a slight hesitation in your voice, a nervous smile, or shifting your weight can make your words more believable and natural. Intonation and gestures are key tools that bring your words to life. Another tip is to connect words to real life experiences. Words become much easier to remember and use when they are meaningful to you. For example, instead of just memorizing the word thrilled, think about a time you were truly thrilled, maybe when you passed an important exam or met someone you admire. Then practice saying, I was thrilled when I finally completed my project. Linking emotions to personal experiences helps your English sound authentic and allows others to connect with your feelings. It's also helpful to mix simple and advanced words. Using only basic words like happy or sad can sound flat, while using only advanced idioms can feel forced. The secret is to combine them naturally. For example, you can say, I'm happy. Actually, I'm over the moon because I got the job. This combination emphasizes your feelings and makes your English sound richer and more expressive. Finally, make a habit of asking questions about feelings when talking with others. This encourages conversation and shows empathy. For example, you can ask, how did you feel when you moved to a new city? Or were you nervous before your performance? Asking questions not only helps you practice English, but it also allows you to understand other people's emotions and respond appropriately. By using intonation and gestures, connecting words to your experiences, mixing simple and advanced vocabulary, and asking thoughtful questions, your English will become more natural, lively, and expressive. These techniques will help you communicate feelings clearly and make your conversations memorable and engaging. 7. Extra fun phrases for daily use. Learning new vocabulary is important, but using fun, expressive phrases can make your English conversations much more engaging and natural. Instead of relying on simple words like happy, sad, or nervous, try using colorful phrases that show personality and emotion. These phrases are widely used by native speakers and will help you sound lively and confident in everyday conversations. For example, instead of saying, I'm happy, you can say, I'm thrilled to bits. This phrase communicates excitement and joy in a playful way, making your happiness feel more genuine and vivid. If you're feeling slightly sad, instead of just, I'm sad, try saying, I feel a bit blue today. This phrase softens the emotion and sounds casual, making it perfect for daily conversation with friends or family. When you feel nervous or anxious about something, a phrase like, I'm on edge about the exam, captures that uneasy, tense feeling much better than the simple word nervous. Similarly, when you're surprised by something amazing, saying, I couldn't believe my eyes makes your reaction more expressive and engaging than just saying, I'm surprised. This phrase creates a visual image and helps the listener feel your astonishment. For moments of extreme excitement, try, I'm bubbling with excitement. This phrase conveys energy and enthusiasm, making your emotions tangible to the listener. It's perfect for sharing good news, celebrating achievements, or simply expressing joy in daily life. Tip: using these fun phrases regularly will make your English more lively, memorable, and natural. Try to practice one or two new phrases each day in your conversations, writing, or even social media posts. The more you use them, the more naturally they will come to mind when expressing your emotions. Over time, these phrases will help you communicate feelings vividly, connect better with people, and make your English conversations more playful, confident, and expressive. By adding fun phrases like these to your vocabulary, you can transform simple statements into dynamic, emotional, and memorable expressions, taking your English to the next level. 8. Cultural tips. When learning to talk about feelings in English, it's important to remember that context and culture matter. English is spoken in many countries, and how people express emotions can vary depending on the situation, the relationship between speakers, and the setting. Understanding these cultural nuances will help you communicate more naturally and avoid misunderstandings. In casual conversations with friends or family, expressing emotions freely is usually welcomed. Native speakers often use playful, exaggerated, or colorful phrases to describe feelings. For example, saying, I'm over the moon, when something good happens is perfectly normal, and people understand it as an enthusiastic expression of happiness. Similarly, idioms like, I have butterflies in my stomach, or I'm on edge, are commonly used to describe nervousness or anxiety in informal settings. Using these phrases with friends or peers can make your English sound lively, natural, and relatable. In more formal or professional settings, however, you may need to be more cautious. For example, instead of saying, I'm furious with my coworker, it's better to use milder expressions like, I'm frustrated about this situation. Similarly, while casual phrases like I'm on cloud nine are fun, in a professional email or presentation, you might use I'm very pleased or I'm delighted to maintain a polite tone. Knowing when to tone down your language is an important cultural skill that helps you communicate effectively without sounding too informal. Another important cultural tip is understanding mixed emotions and subtlety. In English, people often express feelings indirectly or with nuance, especially when discussing sensitive topics. For example, instead of directly saying, I'm upset with you, a native speaker might say, I feel a bit disappointed, or I'm concerned about this. Learning to recognize and use subtle expressions shows emotional intelligence and cultural awareness. Tip: observe how native speakers express their emotions in movies, podcasts, or conversations. Notice when they exaggerate for fun, when they tone down feelings in professional settings, and how they use idioms naturally. Practicing these cultural nuances will make your English sound more authentic, expressive, and appropriate for different situations. By combining vocabulary, idioms, and cultural awareness, you'll be able to communicate feelings clearly, confidently, and respectfully. 9. Final thoughts. Talking about feelings in English is not just a skill, it's fun, practical, and empowering. Being able to describe your emotions clearly allows you to connect with others, share your experiences, and express yourself more confidently. The more you practice, the easier and more natural it becomes. At first, it may feel challenging to find the right words, idioms, or phrases to express exactly what you feel. But remember, every effort counts. Mistakes are not failures, they are opportunities to learn, grow, and improve your English. Each time you try, you are building your confidence and enhancing your ability to communicate authentically. To make your English more expressive, start by incorporating idioms, metaphors, colorful adjectives, and everyday phrases into your conversations. For instance, instead of just saying, I'm happy, try, I'm over the moon, or I'm bubbling with excitement, these small changes make your speech more lively and engaging. Using descriptive language allows people to visualize and feel your emotions, creating a deeper connection in both casual and formal conversations. Over time, these phrases will become second nature, and you'll notice a significant improvement in how naturally you can talk about your feelings. Practical daily exercises can make this learning process both effective and enjoyable. Keep an emotion diary, play vocabulary games, or practice storytelling with friends. Role play scenarios, guess the feeling games, and regular use of idioms will help you internalize emotional expressions while making the process playful and memorable. The key is to make expressing your feelings a habit rather than a chore. Most importantly, enjoy the process. Expressing emotions in English is not just about vocabulary, it's about sharing a part of yourself with others. The ability to communicate feelings clearly brings you closer to people, makes your English sound natural, and empowers you to engage in meaningful conversations. Start today. Write, speak, play, and explore your emotions in English, and you'll find that expressing yourself can be as rewarding as it is fun.